To you. Today on Football Italia, we have the two biggest names in Italian football, Juventus and Milan. Between them, they've won the national title 35 times, and they're playing live in a match this afternoon that could decide this year's Scudetto. We all know Milan have those 6 points of advantage, but a win for Juve this afternoon will reopen the whole race. With me again is Malcolm MacDonald. Malcolm, Chelsea, we know this weekend have reopened things a bit in England. Do you think Juve can do Italy the same favour?
I think that they can, yes, and I think that they're going to provide some cracking entertainment for us this afternoon. But to do so, they have got to prize open the meanest and toughest defence. 9 goals only against in 25 games. That is some going, and Juventus are going to have to be at their very best. But I think it's going to be a classic game this afternoon.
Well, we certainly hope so. Whatever happens with the title race, though, it's always one of the season's high points when these two teams get together. Anyway, kick-off due up very shortly, so we're going to scamper inside now. But we leave you in the hands of Kenneth Wolstenholme.
The magnificent Stadio delle Alpi today stages the match of the day. It's first against second, perhaps the match of the season. The result deciding whether Milan romp away from their closest rivals or get dragged back into a dogfight for the Serie A title. The magnificent men from Milan made it 2 championships in a row last season. Will they be celebrating a superb hat-trick come the 1st of May? Or will Juventus, Italian champions themselves a record 22 times and winners of some silverware last season when they lifted the UEFA Cup, come from behind to snatch Lo Scudetto? Current Serie A places show just how vital this game is, not just for today's protagonists, but for all the other championship chasers. Milan's lead could be cut to 4 points this afternoon, and with games against Sampdoria, Inter and Parma coming up over the next month, the title race is far from over. Obviously, with a 6-point lead and only 9 games left, Milan have their destiny in their own hands. But coach Fabio Capello, having seen the downs but mainly the ups of football life, is confident he'll finish on top in 2 months' time. 6 consecutive wins justify that optimism. Indeed, they've only been beaten once in Serie A all season. That after conceding a 2-goal lead away to Sampdoria. Ironically, the man who turned the knife that day, the former San Siro hero, Ruud Gullit. The departure of Gullit and the long-term absence of last year's top scorer, Marco van Basten, has dulled Milan's attacking edge. And 11 of their 16 victories have come by just a single goal margin. But at the other end, Milan have been real misers. Just 9 goals conceded all season, with Sebastiano Rossi completing a Serie A record of 929 unbeaten minutes, 26 more than Dino Zoff's 1973 best-ever tally. That fantastic run came to an end last weekend when Foggia's Russian forward, Igor Kolivanov, beat him. But Milan were already on their way to victory with goals from Boban and another from the veteran striker Daniele Massaro. While the rest of the Milan attack has spluttered to approach last season's scintillating form, Massaro has kept plugging away, and with 5 goals in his last 6 league games, and 8 all told, he's well on course to beat his previous best for Milan of 10 goals 4 seasons ago. Jean-Pierre Papin was expected to take over the Van Basten mantle, but he struggled to get among the goals, just 5 in 14 league games. No surprise then when he was left out of Milan's midweek lineup for the Champions Cup game with Werder Bremen. Milan didn't need him, beating the German champions 2-1 to keep alive their hopes of a glorious double. Juventus think they can help spike one of Milan's ambitions by repeating last season's 3-1 win at the San Siro. Andy Muller scored twice that day. Unfortunately, he's out suspended this afternoon. Fabrizio Ravanelli, a revelation as understudy for the long-term injury victim Gianluca Vialli, is also forced to sit this one out. And his aggression and goal touch will be sadly missed. But of course, Juventus do have the impeccable talents of Roberto Baggio to inspire them, just as he did against Milan last season. Baggio was voted European and World Footballer of the Year at Christmas, and his brilliance can single-handedly turn a game, as a wider audience will see during Italy's World Cup campaign this summer. Baggio is out on his own at the top of the Serie A scorers chart, grabbing 16 of his team's 44 goals. Many of them have been flamboyant. Some just workmanlike, like the penalty he notched to help Juventus gain a 1-1 draw at the San Siro back in October. Coach Giovanni Trapattoni will be counting on him again today. Although Milan are going for a hat-trick of titles, Juventus still have the edge over the years. Can they improve on that record today and give themselves and others a realistic chance at the championship? For all the answers, join us after the break for the whole match live.
Welcome back to Football Italia. Here we are inside the Stadio delle Alpi. As you can see, a magnificent crowd on this beautiful day. Something like 65,000 fans plus here in the stadium. They've been coming in from all over Italy. At the airport this morning, we saw groups from Rome, from Sicily, from the south, from the north, east, west, the whole works. Anyway, tremendous attention for this game to see what Juve can do, in particular to see what Roberto Baggio, European Footballer of the Year, can do. And in fact, Tuttosport in this morning's cover makes it very clear. Baggio, the key is in your hands. A rather less optimistic view being taken by the Corriere della Sera, Milan-based, of course. Baggio on the assault on his crutches. He says, I've injured my knee in training this week. I wouldn't even be playing if it wasn't such a big game, so don't expect too much. Well, the thing is, everybody does expect a lot. He's the captain. It's up to him, really, they feel here, to make up for all the other absences and injuries that Juventus have at the moment. And if there's one criticism of Baggio here, apart from the dodgy ponytail, of course, it's the fact that on some of these big games, he doesn't always rise to the occasion. Well, he does have perhaps the best opportunity going to prove all that wrong today, because it doesn't really get any bigger than this game, Juve-Milan. With me here, in fact, his mouth watering, what an interesting sight that makes, is Malcolm MacDonald. Malcolm, an interesting game, if not for nothing else, for the fact that Juventus really have to go out and win today.
Yes, they do. A draw's not going to be any good for them at all. And so I think that Trapattoni has had a very, very busy week on the training pitch. And I think that he's going to be asking an awful lot of midfield players because they've got to take on Albertini, Aranio and Desai, which is a great trio. And I think Dino Baggio and Conte, I think that they're going to have to really work hard this afternoon. Roberto Baggio is going to take a freer role, I think, and the youngster Del Piero, he's going to be looking to make a lot of diagonal runs. But I think that where Juventus have got to look to break Milan down is by getting the fullbacks forward and getting them round the back and getting crosses over.
I know you've been impressed by the kind of statistics that Milan's defense has been putting in together, especially since the arrival of Desai.
Yes, their defence, I don't think they can be broken down by going through the middle, and this is why I say I think the fullbacks have got to get forward and get round the back. Desai has come into the side, and his passing is phenomenal, but he does get back and support the defenders along with Albertini, and so it's going to take a lot of hard work this afternoon by Juventus to break the back four of Milan down.
Okay, you've had some controversial things to say on Roberto Baggio's account in some recent months, but today really a lot of expectation for him, especially with the absences. Do you think Juve can do it?
I think the Juve can do it, yes, but I think it does depend a lot on Roberto Baggio and whether he does rise to the occasion, as you mentioned earlier. I think that's vital. He's got tremendous ability, but he doesn't always use it.
Well, back to our commentary team now. Indeed, to join them for the first time this afternoon, it is Liam Brady and Peter Brackley in the commentary box. Over to you guys.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon, everyone. And without wishing then to overplay the occasion, there's little doubt that the outcome this afternoon will either underline or seriously question Milan's supremacy in the race for the 1994 Scudetto. Another victory for Fabio Capello's league leaders would make it extremely hard for Juventus to catch them in the remaining weeks. A draw won't really suffice, whereas a win for the famous old club from Turin will put a whole new complexion on the title chase, facing the hopes not only of Juve, but also, of course, of the other front runners, Sampdoria and Parma, both of whom have still to play Milan as well. But today, of all days, then, is one when Juventus will look to their most gifted individual to inspire them. Roberto Baggio wearing 10 is a football magician, as we all know, but the mark of a really great player surely is the weight of his contribution against world-class opponents. And they don't come much more resilient defensively than Milan. Extra responsibility, of course, on Baggio, and the absence through suspension of Merla. Up front, Ravanelli's ban means a first start then in the Juve side with this exciting young striker, Alessandro Del Piero. The return of the incomparable Baresi after suspension further enhances Milan's defensive strength, of course. He's the orchestrator-in-chief. Tassotti continues at right back in the number 2 shirt there, even though Panucci is now fit again. Desai has passed a fitness test on a damaged ankle, so he does indeed resume in midfield. And up front, his compatriot Papan is still missing, as Savicevic partners the informed Massaro. One of the premier occasions, of course, of the Serie A season. The two most successful clubs in Italian football history will always regard this one with the utmost importance. And the locals who've flocked to the awesome Delle Alpi Stadium this afternoon will be praying that their Juventus side can succeed where so many others have failed, and inflict on this superbly organised, highly efficient Milan team only their second league defeat of the campaign. Very much the game of the day in Italy, but key matches elsewhere as well, of course, to keep an eye on. Sampdoria are at home to Torino, and Parma away to Reggiana. And alongside me in the commentary box this afternoon is Liam Brady. Liam, do you think Juventus can do it?
Well, that seems like Roberto Baggio there saying his prayers. I think he needs them today. Without Muller, without Ravanelli, Vialli's long-term injury, I don't think they can do it. I've seen Milan. We were in Rome 2 weeks ago, saw the Milan defence cope with Gascoigne, Signori and Boksic. I don't think they're up against the best Juventus side. I think we need a Juventus goal earlier on to really make this game go.
It's Milan who get us underway, attacking from left to right. Referee Pierluigi Collina. Way by Costa Curta for Milan. This is Fortunato. And Juventus will certainly be looking to Fortunato down the left to raid down the flank. To Desai, who had been doubtful before the kick-off with an ankle injury that he sustained in the recent international playing for France against Italy. He's come through that late fitness test, and as Malcolm MacDonald was saying, he has been a very important signing, Desai, for Milan, giving them extra strength in midfield. Maybe not the flair and mobility of Frank Rijkaard, his predecessor, but nonetheless a very useful acquisition by Milan. Cesaranio. Savicevic. Torricelli. Now Conte. Such a hard-working player for Juventus, Conte. His industry will be another key factor this afternoon. Maldini scored a marvellous headed goal for Milan in their European Cup success in the week over Werder Bremen. Bright sunshine in Turin. Cola. No foul then on Fortunato, which has gone unpunished, with Juventus in possession. Torricelli to pump it forward. Baresi comes to meet it. Now Delivio. Plugs away down this right flank for Juve, and away for the corner by Baresi.
I think we've had a clash of heads there, Peter. I think you'll see the trainer come on very shortly. I think Baresi's got one, and possibly Del Piero. I'm not too sure.
Baresi, who didn't play in the league game last week because of suspension, and well, they won the game, so I suppose they didn't miss him that much. But my word, he's such a accomplished defender, Baresi. Now there's the clash.
Yeah, it's actually with Dino Baggio. Yeah. And I think Baresi's probably come off the worst. He looks a little bit concussed. But Juventus have started very positively, and that's what they need to do. They need to rattle this Milan team, which is a very difficult task.
They have to go for the win, Juventus. No two ways about that. Delivio on by Dino Baggio. This is Conte. The flag's up for offside.
Well, there we saw another example, Peter, of how Milan played this offside so well. The ball was hardly clear to the edge of the box, and yet they were all out beyond the penalty spot and left 3 or 4 Juventus players in there. This is something that the Juventus attack is going to have to cope with.
Costa Curta up towards Savicevic, who's being marked by Cola. Jürgen Kohler, the German international, one of the world's outstanding markers. Delivio. Brackley checked off then. Dino Baggio. Now Boban on the counter-attack for Milan. Fairly pacey opening to the game, as the two teams feel each other out. They've had some great contests down the years. Massaro, who's in splendid form at the moment for Milan, keeping out Simone. Papan not in the side. I think he is fit again now. It's simply a question that Savicevic has been preferred as Massaro's partner. Savicevic, who scored in the midweek win over Werder Bremen, albeit a gift goal. Baggio, lovely turn. Trying to link up with Del Piero. Delivio now joining in the attack. And he's forced the corner.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Juventus, and it's interesting, Peter, that Dino Baggio is probably playing much more forward than I've ever seen him do. He's starting out more or less as a striker. And his possible height is going to cause Milan problems.
Here again, the counter-attack from Milan, which they can launch so quickly. Savicevic, Albertini rolls it on to Desailly, the Frenchman. Strong and very aggressive player, Desailly. Massaro. Desailly. Milan have won their last 6 matches now. Juventus unbeaten in 10. The header from Massaro.
Yeah, a good run from Aranio and a great ball. Massaro peeled away far post, and Aranio found him with a perfect cross. And he was unlucky that just went over the bar.
5 goals in his last 6 Serie A matches, Massaro. 8 in all this season. This is Tossotti. His place is very much under threat now by Panucci, who's resumed fitness again. Now Dino Baggio, not a bad cross in either, but dealt with adequately enough by Baresi, who reads the game so well. But here's the man who can tug the strings, Roberto Baggio. 16 goals in Serie A this season. 23 in all matches, including the internationals. Baggio weaving his way into the box. And a Kohler. No, the flag's up. Flag was up. Well, they were living a dangerous game there, Milan.
Yes, but that's what I talked about a moment ago, Peter. They're out on the edge of the box, you see, and Kohler is 4 yards offside. Juventus attack are going to have to show much more imagination. They can't come in too early. There you go.
It was a fine save anyway there by Rossi, which has done his confidence no harm. The man who last week broke Dino Zoff's record then of 903 minutes without conceding a goal, before Foggia put one past him. Delivio. Away from Boban. Now Del Piero. This is promising for Juventus again. Baresi with a foot in. Perfectly timed, and he's curious maybe about a lack of a license flag there. Now he's got one. It is a dangerous game they play though, Milan.
Yes, and so often we see Baresi having a go at the linesman. And that was another example there, as Del Piero got in behind the Juventus defence. Baresi intercepted his cross and then had a real go at the linesman. The linesman's given this one. We're talking about the one earlier on. I can't see what's offside about that, to be quite honest.
That's not off, that's not off.
That's probably because Baresi has intimidated him about 30 seconds earlier.
Desailly. Albertini losing out. With a free kick given to Milan. It's a fairly hectic start to the game. These two giants of the Italian game. Got a good referee though today in Colina. Popular figure in the Serie A scene. Gallia. who's come in from a Rocky, who's had an injury late in the week. Delivio. Not their full-strength side, this by any means, Juventus, but they've started very encouragingly. Aranio. Savicevic. Found though by Fortunato. Savicevic, who's been in and out of the Milan side since he came from Red Star Belgrade. Extremely talented player. I don't think they've had the best of him. No goals here yet, but we've had one elsewhere. And it's scored by Genoa away to Piacenza. All the latest scores, of course, will be filtering through to you during the afternoon. And it's Scuravi who has given Genoa the lead. Boban. And tipped away then by Peruzzi, who had to keep a very cautious eye on the cross then from Boban. Peruzzi recognised as the #3 goalkeeper in Italy at the moment, behind Pagliuca and Marcagiani. Sotti. And the referee defender finds Albertini. Baresi. Milan beginning to impose themselves a little now. Savicevic. It goes Massaro. My word, he's looking sharp.
Absolutely, Peter, and I think Kohler hesitated a little bit there as that cross come in from Savicevic. Kohler just hesitated. Massaro nicked in front of him, and again unlucky that it just went over the crossbar. He does look sharp.
So Massaro with 2 early chances for the league leaders. Remember, have lost only once in Serie A this season, that to Sampdoria by 3 goals to 2. And all 3 goals were a bit dodgy. Costa Curta. Tassotti. Is Baresi. Wide to Maldini. Boban. Harassed by Delivio. That's good skill by Boban. And some determined defending too by Juventus.
Yeah, it's a booking there for Desailly. A bad tackle on Del Piero. The youngster started well. He's passing the ball quickly and early, and he's giving Milan a bit of a problem. Desailly arrived late there and caught him, and the referee rightly booked him.
Here's the free kick taken by Torricelli. Fortunato. There's another player gone down there for an incident off the ball.
Yeah, I think that could be Albertini. I think it's another head injury. There's no prisoners being taken here.
There's an arm snaked out there.
Yeah, it was a complete accident though, Peter. We got a glimpse there of Dino Baggio playing in that much more forward role. I think this is probably an invention of the man we're looking at now, Trapattoni. It's a big game for him. He's supposed to be leaving Juventus at the end of the season, and I'm sure he would love the scalp of Milan.
Yes, the media are already maintaining that Marcello Lippi of Napoli has been lined up as Trapattoni's replacement. Let's get the early thoughts of Malcolm McDonald. What have you made of these early exchanges, Malcolm?
It's certainly been a very interesting start, particularly with the 2 chances that Massaro has had for Milano. And following up on the point that Liam's making about the offside that Milan are playing, they really are very, very square. They're pushing up, and the whole thing is the linesman is having to make decisions in millimetres, and it only needs somebody to come from deep, and I think that they're going to get through, because as long as Roberto Baggio stays alive, he's very slow in coming back, and it's him that's most of the time getting caught offside.
Thanks, Malcolm. Boban. Maldini with the cross in towards Savicevic. Albertini has gone across to take the corner. Sahi is in there, hoping to use his strength in the air. And that's a goal kick. Or is it? No, it's a corner. No Van Basten, of course, for Milan to call on these set pieces, but the word is he may well be back in action reasonably soon. He'll certainly miss his prowess in the air and his clinical finishing ability. They've certainly adapted their tactics this season, Milan, to compensate for the loss of one of the world's great strikers. Conte, who's urged to get more forward by Trapattoni whenever he can in the Juventus game plan. Certainly Dino Baggio has been having a more advanced role than usual. 15 minutes gone. Juventus 0, Milan 0, and every inch the tight contest we anticipated. Morini, one of many internationals on view. Torricelli, just showing that Ruud Gullit has scored for Sampdoria, home to Torino. As well as Samp fans or neutrals will be hoping Sampdoria can keep up the pressure today by winning that game. Let's say if it's better than Torino's match with Arsenal in the week. Massaro. Savicevic. Supported well here by Tassotti. And the header. Oh, just beaten out there by Peruzzi. Too long for Aranio as Savicevic came in as well. Boban's header. And what a fine save by Peruzzi. Here's Maldini. Milan with plenty of attacking ideas of their own. They certainly haven't come here simply to sit back and soak it up. It's a game they won't want to lose, but of course a victory would mean so much to them as well. With Juventus 6 points behind.
Great play there from Roberto Baggio. Showed real determination to get a corner kick out of that situation.
Take the kick very quickly too. Here's Gallia now. And he was so quickly closed down by Baresi, rather panicked into that net, Gallia.
We can go back to Pete, to that header by Boban. He's had to perform out on this left side because of Lentini's car accident and long injury run. And Donadoni is out as well, so we've seen Boban operating on the left, and he's playing very, very well out there. He struck up in understanding with Maldini. That was a great move by Milan. Finished off with that header, and it was a great save.
Gianluigi Lentini among the substitutes for Milan today. He hasn't featured too much, of course, this season because of that accident, but he's come on as a sub in a few games recently. So they're gradually edging him back to full fitness. Maldini, what an excellent pass that was then to Boban. Drilled it now to Savicevic. Boban again. Commanding figure of Kola. And he was fouled then. Certainly Boban has made quite an impact for Milan this season, having not been a regular in the last campaign. But then they had the 3 Dutch stars were virtually automatic choices. Torricelli, rather carelessly though, giving it away straight to Tassotti. Costa Curta now. Seeking out Boban, but not finding him. Here's Delivio. Now Conte. Scored in the success at Atalanta last week. Roberto Baggio. And an illegal jump then by the maestro.
Yeah, just a little nudge here from Roberto Baggio in the back of Costa Curta. Couldn't possibly have got away with that.
Tassotti. Pushed off by Savicevic to Aranio. Now Desai cutting on Aranio. Whipping over the cross. Here's Albertini. Everybody appealing, but no free kick given. We had Maldini making that overlap down the left. This is Massaro. And he turned back into trouble. Galea away to Roberto Baggio. Just left Tassotti for dead then. And then Costa Curta thundering into the tackle. It's got a good feel to it so far, Liam.
Yes, tremendous game. Tremendous game. No prisoners taken. Trapattoni's really got this Juventus side firing on all cylinders. They must be missing Muller, they must be missing Ravanelli, but they're having a real go.
Galea almost at the halfway point then in the first half. Delivio. Boban penalised for the challenge, or the assault on Delivio. He's been ever present in the side, Delivio, since coming in early on in the campaign. Free kick taken by Roberto Baggio. Finds Fortunato. Dino Baggio ahead of him. Aranio. Savicevic. Kola was in so strongly though. Costa Curta. This is Tassotti. Savicevic on the chase. Too many strikers get the better of Jurgen Kola. Old Ironfoot as they call him. Porini. Delivio or Del Piero. Just 19 years old, Del Piero. He has already scored for Juve in Serie A, but this is a substitute. It's his first full game today. Starting promisingly. Roberto Baggio. Back for Del Piero. And his effort was charged down. But he looks confident. He looks bright and breezy, and he seems to be relishing the occasion. More or less the fifth choice striker, really. The likes of Vialli and Ravanelli out, Merla, and Zoran Ban, the Croatian, who's on the bench today. He's not fully fit, so Del Piero got the nod, as they say, ahead of him. Baresi. Maldini to Boban, who has looked very impressive. Maldini with the cross. Up by Torricelli. Here's Torricelli again. Now that to Delivio. May not have the flair of his predecessor Di Canio. Does add so much to their cause with his prodigious work rate. And he seems to have got better and better as the season's worn on. Two teams who don't experience defeat too often. Juventus beaten just 3 times in Serie A. This is Aranio. Now Massaro. Juventus, virtually invincible in the Stadio degli Alpi. Juventus, they haven't lost at home this season. Indeed, they haven't lost a league game here for about a year now. But this is the toughest of assignments for them this afternoon. Torricelli. Gallia. Cola. Very skillfully done. Dino Baggio trying to shake off Costacurta. Brilliant defending, though, by the Italian international.
Yes, it was, and very determined play by Dino Baggio also, Peter. And he is making an impact in this forward position.
Cross was just too long. Delivio. Back off Boban, though, for Juventus throw. Conte with Delivio towards Baggio. Just for a moment then I thought he got free of the marking, and he looks pretty disgusted with himself. Massaro to drill it away, but only as far as Gallia. Fortunato. Cola sweeps it on then for Torricelli. Milan being pegged back for the moment. Delivio. Touched off by Conte. Del Piero. And whacked away by Boban. Torricelli. There's no one upfield for Milan. Cola with time to play it wide to Fortunato. Interesting comparison today between Fortunato and Maldini of Milan. Maldini, the #1 choice for the Italian team. Fortunato will certainly be in the reckoning for the Italian World Cup squad, and maybe consider the cover for him. Cola. He'll certainly be in the World Cup finals with the German team. Del Piero picking it up now. He had the confidence to make an impression there in the penalty box. Been likened by Trapattoni to the great Paolo Rossi, who you'll remember well, of course, Liam.
Yes, he's like him as well in looks, Peter. He's playing very, very well. Considering this is his full debut against a side like Milan, he's not showing any nerves at all.
Fortunato. Battling with Iradio. And the referee has ruled in favour of Juventus.
Yeah, I think Iradio realised that Fortunato had got round and was getting away from him and just tugged him back.
He's actually been suffering with a shoulder injury, just looking there. That's not going to help him, is it? He's had that all week.
Well, we hope not, because he's an important player for Juventus today. Sure, we see Baggio trying to pick out his namesake in the box here, Dino.
This is Roberto. It was a difficult ball for defenders to deal with. It's another corner. Despite the protests of the Milan defenders, there's Dino Baggio. He hasn't scored in the league this season, but he got some vital goals in the European campaign last season. Respite for Milan.
You have to say the Juventus side is the side that looks keener at the moment. They're first to the ball. But we saw this 2 weeks ago as well against Lazio, Peter. The Milan side looked to have a few problems, but gradually they just overcame them and got a real firm grip on the game. Let's hope that doesn't happen today.
Racy picking out Boban. kick to Juventus. Well, it was certainly aggressive play by Boban, and not to the referee's liking. Jurgen Kohler. Now Porini. Gallia. Kohler. Good tackle though by Desai. Aranio. Now Massaro. No Donadoni in the Milan side. He was very effective in the European game of the week, but has a slight injury. But he is among the substitutes, so we may well see him at some stage. Del Piero took it so neatly then, rolled on towards Baggio. And Baresi just managed to cover as Rossi came storming out. But a really intelligent piece of play there by Del Piero to send Baggio through.
Yeah, he slotted them through well. Baresi looked up there, is waiting for Rossi to come. Just got across Baggio. They've got a good understanding, Baresi and Rossi. And the keeper was quick off his line there.
Porini. Now Conte. Here's Delivio. Fortunato, half an hour gone. Juventus 0, Milan 0. And it's Jurgen Kohler for Juventus. Out by Maldini. Here's Savicevic. Still waiting for his first league goal of the season. Here's Massaro. Well, that's the mark here of a man whose confidence is so high. And he'll be disappointed there that he didn't strike the target. No,
and it's a little bit of a mistake from Kohler there. That's the second time that Massaro's managed to get the wrong side of him. Good ball from Savicevic. Unfortunately, Massaro hasn't hit the target today, and that's 3, let's say, really good half chances, Peter.
Looking so sharp, Massaro, finishing not quite there at the moment. Now, Costa Curcio has been penalised. There's danger for Milan here. Roberto Baggio will fancy this one.
Well, I think what Costa Curcio is saying is that Baggio had a hold of him before he grabbed his shirt, but I don't think so. I think it's a foul for Juventus in a very dangerous position. Let's see how far the referee can get them back. What do you reckon, Ben? About 7? 7 yards?
You're as cynical as that Ray Wilkins, you are.
The rest of them will be 7. Baresi will be about 4.
Yeah, Baresi's not going anywhere at the moment. I think it might take a while before they sort this out. Roberto Baggio is the man for the occasion. So much imagination from the set pieces. Here is Baggio, and well, the deflection wasn't too unkind for Milan, was it?
I think we see Baggio having a word with the referee there. He's not happy with the wall. He's entitled to be. Baresi's charged him down from about 5 or 6 yards. I don't think the ball actually hit Baresi, but the referee should really get the terms of that.
Del Piero taking the corner short. Fortunato to whip it over. Baresi away. Iranio almost caught then by Del Piero. Savicevic. Tempers flare again. In the heat of the battle, such a crucial game this one today. That's Iranio's challenge on Roberto Baggio.
Yeah, it's a crude challenge from Iranio. Probably lucky to get away with that. Probably deserved a booking for that.
Fortunato to Roberto Baggio. Dino failing to make contact. Delivio, though, to collect for Juventus. Now, can he get away from Massaro here? Cola, offside.
It's great the way Milan do that, Peter. They're out quick as a flash. They're leaving him 2 and 3 yards offside. Baresi can almost read what's going to happen, the way the play is going to develop, and he has his defence straight out.
Boban. Failing though to link with Savicevic. They are defending deeper though this season, Milan, not pushing up towards the halfway line as it looked the last campaign.
Well, that was right. I think with Gullit and with Rijkaard and people like that, they were used to pressurising people in their own half. They've kind of fallen back into the Italian way. They're content to hit people on the break now.
Fortunato. Well run back though for Milan by Aranio. Does a good job down this right flank. Trying to outmaneuver Fortunato, but without success. And he dived. Wouldn't you say, Liam?
Just a bit.
Ten minutes of the first half remaining. Delivio. Torricelli, who has settled in so well at the back for Juventus this season. It hadn't really been expected that he would be a regular, but his form has been such that they don't leave him out. And he was even called up recently by Arrigo Sacchi, the Italian coach, for one of their recent get-togethers. Still Piero in trouble.
Yeah, he's taken another knock from Desailly. I actually thought that was a fairer challenge there. Didn't see too much wrong with that. It was Boban. He went for the ball. Oh, well, perhaps he did just lift his leg up and trip him up.
Well, let's get a word from Malcolm MacDonald. How impressed have you been with Juventus so far, Malcolm?
They're having things made very difficult for them by Milan, and they're coping pretty well, other than Perini, who I think is having quite a disastrous time at the right back spot. He's made numerous mistakes, forever giving possession away to Milan. I think the mark of a great side can often be judged by how much hard work they do when the other side have got the ball. And Milan are phenomenal at closing the opposition down, and they don't allow Juventus to sit on the ball or get comfortable in any shape or form in the game. And Juventus are having to hurry in everything that they do.
Fortunato. Tassotti there, the covering defender, and such an experienced one, of course. Now Roberto Baggio will take the corner. Oh, Dino Baggio missed it completely. What a let-off then for Milan.
That's good play from Juventus. They left it late to come into the box, and Baggio put in a perfect first-time cross. Here we see it, bending it in. Dino Baggio is a whisker away from sticking that in the back of the net.
There's actually three Juve players there, Conte and Cola as well. And Milan very close to conceding a goal. And that's something they don't do too often, just 9. They've ended this season in Serie A. Cola. Fortunato with Gallia. Fortunato riding the tackles, which he felt were illegal. Tackling with Tassotti, and it'll be another free kick then to Juventus. Roberto Baggio, as ever, taking charge of the operation. Along with Fortunato here. Baggio, the jewel in Juve's crown. Perini has also come up from the back. Baresi with the header away. There's Conte, wide to Delivio. Good anticipation though by Boban. Massaro. Flags up though against Del Piero. Well, there did look to be a defender beyond him.
Well, there you go. There's the man. He almost puts a flag up for the linesman, Baresi.
Curta taking the free kick, which Milan seemed a little fortunate to receive then. On by Gallia. Costa Curta. Down for Aranio now. Desotti. Savicevic. Then by Desotti, and the situation retrieved by Maldini. Here's Desotti again. Savicevic. Too long move for Massaro. What do you make of Savicevic, Liam? He's a player of immense talent, but hasn't quite seemed to fit in.
I was reading the Italian papers this morning. They were comparing him to Baggio, but I don't think he's in the same class as Baggio. He's a very, very good player. It must be difficult in the Milan side. You're not playing week in, week out. To actually develop there. He's a very fine player, but not anywhere nearly as good as Roberto Baggio.
I think we made the point before that Berlusconi, the president, rather fancies him more than Capello does, the coach. But for the moment, Savicevic is getting a run in the side, and Papan is the man missing out. Not a bad option though to have Papan in reserve. Former European Footballer of the Year. Here's the current one now, Roberto Baggio. Almost found Fortunato. Desotti. Into Massaro. Desai. Fluent play here by Milan. Desotti now on for Aranio. And a well-timed intervention by Torricelli. Desai. Boban's in space away on the left. He's taken the other route to Massaro. Now Savicevic. Hounded by Cola. Not a man you'd choose to have marking you, is he?
No, a tremendous player. He's really having a go today as well, Pete. He's getting the ball and he's bringing it forward. They really are committed. Led by Cola.
Savicevic with the corner. Costa Curta. Savicevic again. Stronger on his left foot.
Well, he did very well there, Savicevic, and he's got a corner. We're coming into the last few minutes of the first half, and this is not a time that you want to concede a goal, because Juventus have given a very good account of themselves. They don't want to lose a goal now.
Savicevic. Whatever it is you're calling. What are you calling him? Something like that.
You say it. You say it for me.
I'm saying Savicevic. You're saying
Savicevic.
Savicevic. Well, you say that then. We all know who you mean. I know what I mean. George Graham is still struggling with Franciscoli from last week.
Yeah, I saw that last week. Jack Charlton used to say, the number 10.
Maldini. 2 minutes of the first half to go. Albertini. Savicevic. There's a Milan player down in the box. Still Savicevic. Good charge down though by Fortunato. Desotti. Albertini for Desai. He was clattered then. Baresi to Boban. Now Albertini. This is Massaro. Albertini to Desai. And Tassotti had made the run for him. Transponded though by Fortunato. There again, the strength of Desai. Into the last minute. Costa Curta. Juventus' turn now to defend. On by Tassotti. And safely through to Peruzzi. Juventus, the second highest scorers with 44 goals in Serie A this season, behind Sampdoria, who now have 50 after their opening goal against Torino today, scored by Ruud Gullit. And rumours abound that Ruud Gullit may well be returning to Milan next season. I don't think there's too much doubt they made a mistake in letting him go.
Well, he's playing a much more forward role for Sampdoria than he ever did for Milan. And he scored what he scored again today, Peter. He's scored 14, 15 goals this season. Tremendous first season for Sampdoria. It wouldn't surprise me. Can't be surprised anything happening in the Italian league.
Baggio. On by Conte. We're into injury time. And there will be a bit of stoppage to add on. On the watch of referee Collina. Certainly that injury to Iranio that needed repairs to his face early in the half. Now can Juventus finish this first half with a flourish? Roberto Baggio with the free kick. Del Piero found so nonchalantly there by Baggio. Out by Baresi. They haven't conceded a goal away from home since their 3-2 defeat against Sampdoria back in October. Savicevic. On by Tassotti. Iranio had shown for him. And the tackle was an unfair one from Jurgen Kohler. Liam, looking back, your reflections on the first half?
Well, I'm pleased. I'm hopeful that Juventus can do it. I wasn't so hopeful before the game. But I think they've given Milan a few problems. Considering they've got a weak side out, I think they can be very happy with the account they've given in this first half.
Away by Kohler. Here's Dino Baggio. Had a spell out through injury recently, Dino Baggio. Who wrote his name in the record books, of course, as the scorer of the goal that took Italy through to this year's World Cup finals. Victory in their final game against Portugal. Donicelli with the free kick. Target was Del Piero, but Costa Curta was towering over him. They really are so strong at the back, Milan. And here's the danger of the counter-attack now with Massaro. Savicevic has pulled into the middle. Iranio, caught though by Baggio. Great control. So much to admire about Baggio. Conte. Here's Perini. Albertini. Oh, Maldini, a rare mistake by him. He turns straight into Del Piero, who's been penalised, I think, a little harshly.
Well, Del Piero read what he was going to do. I suppose he did raise his elbow just that little bit too high. But as soon as Maldini felt contact, he was down like a shot.
Mind you.
Yeah, I think the referee got it right.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone down there. It's half-time. Well, sweat on the brow of Collina, the referee, plenty of sweat on the faces of the players. A lot of effort, a lot of industry. No goals so far. But certainly an enjoyable first 45 minutes, and we'll hope for some goals in the second half. But that's the way of it now in Turin. Half-time score, Juventus 0, Milan 0 in the match of the day. Join us again in a couple of minutes from now.
Welcome back to Turin, the Stadio delle Alpi, where the score at half-time is, of course, Juventus 0, Milan 0. Well, in a couple of minutes' time, we'll be talking to Malcolm McDonald about his thoughts on the first half here, and we'll also, of course, be going through all of the half-time scores. Right now, though, it is time to go immediately to Goal of the Month from February.
Yes, your chance to look at some great goals, all contenders for February's Goal of the Month competition. Paul Gascoigne will choose his top selection from these. If you agree with his #1 choice, you could win an Alitalia Italia Tour trip to see the Italian Cup final between Sampdoria and Ancona next month. And 5 runners-up prizes to watch the Anglo-Italian Cup final at Wembley. Those are February Golden Goals. Remember, we just want you to name your top selection. The writer of the first card picked out next Friday, whose choice matches Gazza's, will win a trip for 2 to see the Italian Cup final next month. 5 runners-up will each win a pair of tickets to see the Anglo-Italian Cup final at Wembley on March the 20th. A slap-up lunch included. Send your cards to Goal of the Month, Football Italia, P.O. Box 1881, London W10 6ZP. Good luck.
Welcome back to the Stadio delle Alpi. Now, as you may be able to see behind me, the teams are already coming out onto the field, so let me race extremely quickly through the half-time scores. And luckily, there haven't been too many goals so far. Foggia and Atalanta are drawing 1 goal apiece. Capolini first on the scoreboard there. Saurini, the ex-Lazio player, putting Atalanta equal. Piacenza 1-1 also with Genoa. Scuravi, the scorer there, putting the visitors in the lead. A Papai's penalty, bringing Piacenza back into it. And the other goal coming at Genoa. Sampdoria 1-0 up over Torino. Hullet with his 14th of the season. Okay, Lazio-Roma is the evening game. That'll be, of course, in our Mezzanotte programme on Tuesday night. I strongly advise you to tune in for that, because it should be a real cracker. But anyway, for the moment, our attention is remaining on Juventus-Milan, the second half coming out right now. So let's hand back to our commentary team for that, Liam Brady and Peter Brackley.
Yes, thank you, James. An absorbing first half, which Juventus certainly began encouraging, but I think as it wore on, Liam, the feeling was that they needed to get a goal. They didn't get one, and maybe Milan are beginning to soak it up a little bit.
Well, that's right, and they did pressurise Milan for a good half hour of that first half, and perhaps they were feeling it a bit in the last 15 minutes. And now they've come in, they've had a cup of tea or whatever, and they're going to have another real go at them. Let's hope so.
What do they have at half-time? It's not tea, surely.
Yes, tea, lemon tea, yeah.
Costa to shepherd it back to Rossi. Hasn't had that many saves to make as such, Rossi. Indeed, it was Massaro really at the other end who has come as close as anyone to scoring. Milan 6 points clear of Juventus and Sampdoria at the top. Milan on 40, Juventus and Samp on 34. As the shot is drilled wide, Parma a further point adrift. And Lazio then 2 more points down, so they're really out of it now. And also Torino and Inter back in 6th and 7th places. If Juventus can just get this result today and beat Milan, it would open the whole title race up again. Hooked on by Desai. Kohler, rather scooped with that one though. There's Massaro. Such a willing runner up front, Massaro. Costa. Conte launched himself then at Massaro, and they've taken the free kick too quickly, surely. Livio sportingly allows the ball to go out of play, and Massaro then was definitely caught by Conte.
Yes, dangerous play by Conte. I think he committed himself into the overhead kick and couldn't really stop. Just caught Massaro on the back of the head.
No malice intended, I'm sure, but it was pretty rash then from Conte. To lift their team as Massaro is lifted back onto his feet and able to continue. They've got Simone on the bench again, Milan. They often bring him on as a substitute, so every chance he'll get a run out later. Kohler to pump it forward. Not the best of service from him. 1-1 when the teams met earlier in the season. Just as tight today. Maldini now, marauding down his left flank. Came back off Conte. By Maldini, and the flag was up anyway. Well, we didn't get a chance to hear from Malcolm McDonald at half-time, so let's bring you in now, Malcolm, and see how you think the second half is going to shape up.
Well, I was absolutely absorbed throughout the first half, and the second half has started in a similar vein. The way that Milan play, they're forcing Juventus to be very, very inventive, to try to create anything at all. And Del Piero is making his diagonal runs out to the right, and Roberto Baggio's, when he does find space, he finds it out on the left. But that gives the space then for Dino Baggio to come through the middle. And if Roberto Baggio can just make that yard of space and get in one of his inch-perfect crosses, then I think that Dino Baggio has got the beating of Milan in the air.
All down to the two Baggios. Thanks, Malcolm. Here's Maldini, on for Albertini. Massaro with Savicevic. Kohler's tackle. Savicevic maybe was a little late. Off goes Baggio. Roberto just touched it wide then to Delivio. Albertini. Up come Milan again. Boban. There's another injury. It's the earlier one too.
I think it's Conte.
Conte, wasn't it? Conte, yeah. It's Cola's tackle, and then Savicevic went in a little clumsily on Conte.
Well, he went in with a lot of determination. I think it was a good tackle. He got the ball, but obviously caught Conte as well.
Antonio Conte, key man in this Juve side, and they'll be anxious to get him back in the fray as soon as possible. Now there's news coming in of another goal. Lecce 0, Napoli 1. The bottom side in trouble again, and it's, well, that man Fonseca. Surprise, surprise, his 15th of the campaign. Lecce 0, Napoli 1. Only Roberto Baggio above him now in the Serie A scorers charts. Rossi, who has had 18 clean sheets in Serie A this season. An amazing record. Tassotti. Albertini. Fouled by Savicevic, who's certainly putting himself about. Rueful smile from the Montenegrin, Savicevic. Cut out by Tassotti. Here's Desai. Really is a fierce contest. Desai finding Boban. Bit of a miss kick from him. Read by Perini. Baresi. Boban. Closed out too quickly though by Perini.
Yeah, I think Juventus need to get to grips with it in the middle of the park. We've got Galea, who seems to be giving the ball away time and time again. And really, if they're going to get Baggio, the two Baggios into the game, or the young lad Del Piero, they really got to get their passing going in midfield.
Been around for a while, Galea. He was playing when you were at Sampdoria, wasn't he?
That's right, Peter. I played.
Good heavens. It was a few years ago. Tassotti. In fairness, he was a bit more sprightly then, wasn't he, Galea?
So was I, Peter.
So were you, yeah. Congratulations, though, on your award as Manager of the Month. July, was it?
June, Peter.
June. Fortunato and Tassotti scrapping together.
Yeah, you saw an example there of Conte making a run. Fortunato couldn't get him the ball earlier. And when he did play him, the Milan defence had just stepped up again. He's 5-6 yards offside.
Savicevic. Albertini. Now Galea. Fortunato to Torricelli. Perini. Had one or two nightmarish moments in the first half. Dino Baggio, down for Roberto. Dino again. And the two namesakes failed to find a passage to goal.
There's another great interception by Baresi there. Just waited for Baggio earlier on. Here we see an incident where probably Boban just caught the bottom of Torricelli's boot. Good defending from Baggio earlier, or from Baresi earlier on when Baggio broke through.
Here's Baresi now. Straight though to Cola. Dino Baggio off to Galea. He was lucky to get away with that. Fortunato showing good pace down the flank. They ran into Tassotti. Massaro. Desai. Baresi. Tiny approach play by Milan. Here's Aranio. Massaro. Carelessly given away though to Torricelli. Puerto was there. Conte. Roberto Baggio. Conte again. Maldini must time his tackle. Delivio. Certain attack by Juventus, but it comes to nothing. Savicevic. Massaro sprinting ahead of him. Savicevic picking him out well too, but so too had Perini. Now Gallia. Baggio. Conte. Roberto Baggio made a very telling run. No real height up front for Juventus without Ravanelli or Vialli. So they'll be looking to the guile on the ground of Roberto Baggio and Del Piero. Here's Desai. Good strike! And a tremendous stop by Peruzzi. Really was a venomous drive.
It was. We've seen him do that before as well, Peter, coming from the middle of the park. Actually, Peruzzi made a great save and touched it onto the post. Must have been all at 35 yards.
Looked over by Savicevic. And a good claim again by Peruzzi. He really excelled himself there, the goalkeeper, as it swerved away.
Amazing swerve on that ball. Peruzzi did very, very well to follow it in flight. Very important save.
He's only conceded 3 goals at home in the last 3 months, Peruzzi. And the underline there why he is so highly rated. Foul here by Boban on Delivio.
It's part of the game I didn't realise Boban had. He's been very determined. Got a lot of tackles in. For someone that's really only settled in that position in the last couple of months, he's doing very well.
Baggio. He is a judge, the offender this time. Mr. Curta complaining. Savicevic. Tackle by Perini. Singled out in the first half as Malcolm McDonald's target for the day. He redeemed himself on that occasion and earlier too.
That's right, he's had a better second half. I think Malcolm was right to point out the first half he's giving the ball away time and time again. He started the second half well.
Conte on by Gallia. Here's Baggio, tightly marked by Costa Curta. Gallia. No, Baresi's there again. They'll sweep it up in search of Eranio. Free kick to Juventus. Torricelli. Fortunato. Now Gallia. They need to get him away down this flank, Fortunato. Giustotti to the rescue though for Milan. This is Desai. Now Massaro. Plenty of movement and fluency, but not too many chances so far in the second half. Baresi on to Maldini. Savicevic checked by Perini. I'm hearing now that Ruben Sosa has given Inter the lead against Udinese. Inter 1, Udinese 0. Inter out of the frame, really, in terms of challenging for the title. There's Perini holding off Savicevic. And obviously some abuse coming in from the bench, I would think. So much at stake today. Boban will take the free kick. And a goal! Eranio. He sneaked in then almost unnoticed, and Milan have taken the lead through Eranio, his first goal in Serie A this season.
Now that's got to be one of the most difficult balls to deal with when the ball is swerving like that. Eranio's left his run late, he's come around the blind side, And he's just touched it with the bottom of his boot, the sole of his boot, and in it goes. Peruzzi helpless because it's gone right in the corner. Great cross from Boban and a great touch.
Well, he was wrong-footed there, Peruzzi, and Eranio just got a toe to it. Oh, what a setback for Juventus. Milan has happened so often. Soaked up pressure and then struck themselves at the other end in decisive fashion. Juventus 0, Milan 1. Eranio the scorer. Doricelli. Now Boban riding the tackles and feeding Savicevic. Desai. Eranio. Tassotti in support. Hooked out by Conte, but only as far as Eranio. Desai. This is Boban. What was already a difficult task for Juventus is that much harder now. Once they get in front.
Yeah, that's right. You expect them to take a real stranglehold on the game. And Boban's really got Delivio at it here. That's about the third time he's had a kick at him when the ball is gone. He's tortured him down this left side for Milan. Outstanding, Milan's outstanding player today for me, Boban.
Bit of frustration shown by Delivio, and it's Boban who will take the free kick. Variation this time. It was the same man on the end of it, Eranio. Might have been a suggestion that Eranio would be left out today with the likes of Donadoni in reserve. But he's kept his place and repaid his coach Fabio Capello's confidence in him. Tassotti. Quickly bowled out by Peruzzi, and Delivio immediately surrounded by a posse of Milan players. There's Boban.
It's a bad throw by Peruzzi there. He put Delivio in all sorts of problems.
Goal coming just before the hour, so there's plenty of time for Juventus to come back. But no doubt at all now that Milan are in control. Desai.
Things are going Milan's way now. I don't know whether that was a foul. He took his boots off, but that's about all, Peter. A couple of weeks ago we saw Lazio play, and almost in the second half you sense that the belief drained from the Lazio team about the possibility of getting a goal against Milan, or going on to win the game. And I hope the same doesn't happen today, but it's very, very possible that Juventus will say this task is above us, because Milan look so in control at the moment.
Fortunato. With the throw. Now Baggio. Yet the service, though, simply wasn't good enough. Certainly not to break down this Milan defence. With Rossi as such a reliable last line of resistance. Desai. Eranio. Now Tassotti. On by Savicevic, and the referee says play on. No foul on Eranio. They get it away again though, Juventus. Tassotti now. Albertini. They may not be as spectacular as the Milan side of 2 seasons ago, but you certainly have to admire their resilience. And yet again they've set about their task today in such professional fashion, Milan. And the Juventus have to come up with something out of the ordinary to break their stranglehold. Approaching the midway point in the second half. Costa Curta. Cola. Foul by Costa Curta on Dino Baggio. Another strange story coming in concerning one of the other contenders for the title, Parma. Their match with Reggiano has been abandoned because the referee has been injured. They don't have the same ruling in Italy concerning the senior linesman taking over. They gave him a chance to recover at half-time, but he failed to do so the match is off. Fortunato. Baggio absolutely incensed, furious then that the pass went the other way.
Well, he'd made a run, and Fortunato again delayed his pass in, and once you do that, it's all over. You're offside. When the pass comes in, the Milan defence is out. You're caught offside.
Fortunato. Too easy though for Costa Curta, then Conte going in strongly. Conte again, obstructed. A few birds in the way as well. Seem too bothered, but the referee was. Costa Curta clearly impeding Conte. Substitution about to be made. Who's coming on in place of Gallia. So they're sending on a defender in Carrera. There'll be some switching around, I'm sure. Gallia, a midfield man who has gone off. Now, what can Juventus conjure up here? And in particular, Baggio. Beaten away by Rossi. Conte didn't get hold of it properly. Out of play, surely. Roberto Baggio.
Yeah, it was a bad decision by Conte there to have a go at that volley. The ball was coming way too high. It was on his bad foot. Much better off just getting it down and passing it out wide again.
With Ruben Sosa, it might have been a different story, but not to Conte.
Yeah, with his left foot, yeah.
Or yours, might I say. Conte. Here's Carrera, who's lost his regular place in the side, mainly through the form of Perini and Torricelli at the back. It's Perini, who had been playing well until his one or two aberrations in the first half, settled down now more after the break. But Milan have the one goal that divides the two teams. And at this stage, it looks like being an extremely valuable one. Next week it's Sampdoria they face. We'll be featuring that match live. Milan versus Sampdoria from the San Siro. This is Massaro now. Sampdoria, when last we heard, still leading. Rudhulic's goal in the home game against Torino. Conte. Robust challenge by Desai.
What a powerful player this Desai is. And last week we saw him get a stranglehold on Gascoigne in the second half, and he's done the same today with Dino Baggio.
There is Dino Baggio now with the shot. Far too tame effort, really.
I think long-term, Peter, is bound to be a replacement for Baresi when Baresi does decide to pack in. I think they've got a ready-made replacement there in the back four. That's where he plays for France.
He plays superbly too. There is Desai now. As usual, makes a mistake when we talk about him.
Well, he's not... His passing ability is not great, but his defensive qualities are excellent.
Delivio trying to make progress. And it's a Milan throw. With 20 minutes left. Juventus 0, Milan 1. A goal from Iranio. Just before the hour mark. Cola. Del Piero. Trying to shake off Maldini, who had to resort to fouling him. Maybe. Now Donadoni is going to come on for Milan. And Massaro, the man to be replaced.
We saw this tactic a couple of weeks ago in Rome as well against Lazio. They bring Donadoni on and he gets his foot on the ball and he just keeps them passing, keeps possession. I think we'll be, Capello will be looking for the same kind of contribution from Donadoni here in Turin.
Goes Carrera, but again to no avail. Donadoni, who's having an outstanding season for Milan. But as I mentioned earlier on, he has got a minor injury, so they didn't want to risk him from the start. But his ability on the ball is such an asset to have in reserve. Desai. Up towards Savicevic. Kola was underneath it, though. And can't get on with it quickly enough. Perini. Urgently need a goal now, Juventus, to rekindle their spirits. Well by Del Piero on Maldini. Donadoni. Milan with 16 victories in Serie A before this match today, and just inching their way towards number 17. They're not there yet, though. Perini to Torricelli. I don't think they're going to make much progress through the middle, where Baresi and Costa Curta have it all sewn up. Down goes Costa Curta. Just nicked in the head by Baggio.
Yeah, I think Juventus are crying out for somebody in the middle of the park to actually dictate play. They have nobody at all, and they're resorting now to this long ball. Push Dino Baggio well up. And it's meat and drink to the Milan defence. They're not too bothered with that at all.
Baresi with the free kick. Iranio controlled it superbly. Donadoni down for Tassotti. Iranio. Fouled by Conte. See there the frustration on the face of Delivio. Flags up against Iranio, maybe Savicevic. I think Iranio. Delivio down the left now then for Juventus. Albertini. Donadoni. All the confidence is there. Baresi. Time to switch flanks now. Find Maldini. Baresi, an immaculate defender. And that is where Milan have looked so strong again today at the back, restricting Juventus really to just a handful of opportunities. Del Piero. It's a foul by Baggio, who couldn't score anyway. Yellow card for Baggio for allowing his frustration to show.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago Malcolm MacDonald accused him of being a wee bit petulant, and I think it's happening again today. He's frustrated. They've kept him under wraps. He hasn't had an opportunity, and that frustration is showing. And that yellow card was coming for a little while.
Costa Curta. Desai. He had the strength then to hold off the challenge from Dino Baggio. Still Desai. Singled out for a lot of praise this week by Capello, the coach, Desai. He has been outstanding again today in this defensive midfield role. Tassotti. Boban.
We're seeing the same thing that happened at Lazio a couple of weeks ago, Peter, aren't we? It's just possession football. Juventus can't get the ball off them.
Cola. Crowd becoming impatient as well. Torricelli. It's not easy when you come up against a team of Milan's qualities. Fortunato. Cola. Malcolm MacDonald, can you see any way now for Juventus to find a way through?
No, I don't. I think that the spirit's gone out of Roberto Baggio up front. The youngster Del Piero is completely out of the game. He doesn't know how to play against the way that Milan have completely taken control of this game. And I think that Trapattoni really should substitute him. That Milan have got complete control at the back, in the middle, and even up front now. And I can't see Juventus coming back and even getting an equaliser, never mind winning.
OK, Malcolm, well, they do have Zoran Ban, the Croatian, on the bench, who is a striker, so that is an option open to Trapattoni if he wants to make a switch up front. Somehow find a goal that will cancel out the strike from Eranio for Milan. Baresi, imperious as ever. Savicevic. Good pass one, but not two. Torricelli. A match they really have to win today, Juventus, to keep their title hopes alive. Conte. Now Cola.
I think Kohler's kidded the referee there. Just fell over the ball.
Donadoni. Tug of the shirt by Del Piero. Unpunished though, as Costa Curta threads it on. Donadoni.
This happens so often in Italian football, Peter, where one team, they can't cope with the other, so they resort to petty fouling and tripping up, and it really does spoil the spectacle. And that's what's happening to Juventus now. They've run out of ideas. They're slow in getting the ball forward.
They'll try to do that now with Roberto Baggio. It's all got very niggly, really. Boban. Donadoni. Up wide to Eranio. Donadoni again. Player who always looks so comfortable in possession, Donadoni. Conte. Wide to Delivio. There are 10 minutes left for Juventus to save the game, let alone win it. Carrera. Roberto Baggio. If ever Juventus were in need of his sorcery, it's now. It's a nasty little dig then by Boban.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Baggio showed tremendous skill. He's been very lucky he hasn't been booked today. He's been booked. I'm glad about that. That's cynical. Probably Desai would have taken the ball off him anyway.
Fourth booking of the game. Registered against the name of Vladimir Boban. Now Torricelli. Delivio. Can't really remember Rossi having a shot to save in the second half. Such has been Milan's supremacy. Delivio. The one significant moment of the game has come at the other end with a goal from Iranio. Delivio. Carrera has been posted forward. Got Dino Baggio in there as well. And Cola. Was his header down. Again, they've smuggled it away. Savicevic. It's glorious skill. Still Savicevic. Taking on four of them. Albertini. Joined by Donadoni. And that'll be a goal kick. Off Donadoni. And they'll be disappointed there, Milan. They didn't make more of that attack, which they sprung so quickly. Del Piero to Carrera. Torricelli. Got to take a few risks now of Juventus. Del Piero showing his inexperience again as he went flying into the tackle on this obdurate figure of Desai. From the Lecce-Napoli game. Napoli still leading by a goal to nil because Fonseca has missed a penalty. Scored the earlier goal, but now has missed from the spot. And if he had been successful, it would have put him joint top scorer in Serie A. Desai not looking too happy there in the centre circle. Remember, he came into the game with an ankle injury, which almost kept him out of it. To Sotti. With Donadoni. Desai. Maldini. Savicevic caught offside. Juventus, in truth, just don't seem to have the imagination, the creativity to open Milan up.
I think that's because, Peter, there's nobody in the middle of the park to spot the runs of Baggio and people up front. I think the only team who's got any real joy against Milan has been Sampdoria, where Mancini came deep and started spraying some passes around.
Baggio almost got through then. Cola. No offside. Back in by Carrera. And plucked out of the air so easily by Rossi. Well, that's the next test for Milan. Sampdoria then next week, when they'll come up against David Platt's team. Bullet in such outstanding form. And they've also got Parma to play and Inter. So they won't be easy. But you certainly have to say now that the gap is getting a bit too big. At least the Sampdoria win today, they'll keep in touch. But if Juventus lose, well, it may be the end of their challenge.
Yeah, our viewers have probably heard it before, but we're probably looking at the best organised team in Europe at the moment. They're not the most spectacular. They used to be much more spectacular, but they're also good at defending. Everybody knows the positions. Really difficult to break down. And as you said, Juventus have not had one single shot this half, nor did Lazio 2 weeks ago.
It is a measure of the coaching skill of Capello that he's had to readjust this season without Van Basten, without Rijkaard, without Gullit. And he has shown his adaptability in producing a side that, well, I'll certainly go along with that, is not as scintillating, not as exciting, but still as effective. We're into the last 5 minutes now. They've even pushed Kohler up now, hoping that he can get some joy. This is Delivio, in for Conte. Milan will just funnel players back behind the ball now. They want to try and win it back in their opponent's half. Here's Kohler. Out by Maldini. Then Tassotti. Iranio, who's had a very good match. Savicevic. It's an excellent pass to picking out Albertini. So too had Torricelli. Now Fortunato. Perini. Pereira, rather hopefully up. Now, will it fall for Roberto Baggio? No. And his untidy challenge has resulted in a free kick for the foul on Tassotti.
How long did he go, Rossi, Peter? I hope I'm not put you on the spot. How long did he go without conceding a goal?
The record was 903.
He just beat
929 he got at the end, 929.
I think you could play in goal behind that defence.
Well, they are very, very resolute, there's no doubt about that. Having said that, you haven't seen me playing goal, but there's Carrera. On by Roberto Baggio. Things aren't going right for him either today. Del Piero has had an extremely tough baptism. Couldn't really be a harder task for him today than facing this Milan rearguard. Marshalled so admirably again by Baresi. They play so well together at the back. Costa Curta and Baresi, Maldini there as well. These three will certainly provide the backbone to the Italian national team in the World Cup finals. And it may well be that Panucci, the young man on the bench today, will be the fourth defender. Savicevic. No question about this man's ability. Maybe just his temperament. Boban. Away from Conte, away from Torricelli, still Boban. Now Savicevic.
Boban.
The challenge.
Great skill from Boban. Now we'll just have a little substitution now to waste a couple of more minutes.
Marco Simone. Savicevic going off. Simone had a spell out through injury when he slipped getting out of the bath. But again, such a useful player to have waiting on the sidelines, an Italian international, and he was on the bench too for the last Italian game, the last World Cup game. So clearly Arrigo Sacchi rates him very highly, and he may well have a part to play in the World Cup finals. Baresi. 90 minutes are almost up. Free kick to Milan.
The frightening thing about this Milan side, apart from Baresi, maybe Donadoni as well, Peter, is they're a young team. They could go on for a long, long time, dominating Italian football and European football. Can't see who's going to stop them in the European Cup either this year.
Top of the group. Certainly the favourites. Now Kohler to head it down, but Maldini to clear it away. Fortunato. Very disappointing second half really by Juventus. Much more encouraging signs in the first 45 minutes. But they have posed so little threat since the break.
Yes, they were quicker to the ball in the first half, and they did get some good crosses into the Milan box that caused them problems. But Milan have really taken a grip, and I said at the outset of the game, Peter, that we needed Juventus to score to see a really spectacular game. If Milan scored, they were just going to put a stranglehold on it, and that's happened.
The confidence is almost visibly drained from the faces of the Juventus players as Milan have taken charge. Paolo Maldini. We're into injury time. Came off Maldini. Juventus just desperately hoping for something now. Right at the last, it's Conte. Good tackle though by Boban. Now Simone. Donadoni. This is Albertini. Simone. Fortunato with the tackle. Milan, though, happy just to have the ball deep in Juventus territory. Iranio, Albertini. Possession football now from Milan. They have the game won, surely. Donadoni. This is Iranio. Now Simone. Half a chance, which he couldn't accept.
We can't remember Juventus having a chance, can we? That cross by Roberto Baggio that Dino Baggio very nearly got on the end of. But we saw in the first half Milan had 3 half chances with Massaro. They went close with Desailly, they went close with a header by Boban. And of course they've got the goal. I think no one can say that they haven't deserved to win this game.
On by Dino Baggio. Here's to Sotti though, out to Iranio. And as Donadoni fetches it, the final whistle is blown by referee Collina, and Milan celebrate the victory that may well tie up for them the Scudetto for the 3rd successive season. Sampdoria and Parma will hope still to have a say in that. And this is all very unsavoury here as the Juventus fans vent their frustration now, being dealt with very swiftly indeed. Well, let's look back on some of the highlights of the game. Not too many, I'm afraid, but there was an early scare for Milan here, a disallowed goal, Liam.
Well, I don't think there was any question about it that Kohler was offside. It was a good header, a great save by Rossi, and Kohler knocks it in on the volley. But without doubt, he was offside. I think you see, it might have been Tassotti coming out late. I'm not too sure about the Milan player, but he was offside for me.
Well, now here's an effort for Milan from Massaro, who's been in such devastating form lately, but didn't actually hit the target today.
No, that was a difficult chance, really. Kohler did manage to obstruct them somewhat, and it was an easy chance.
And this was a smart piece of goalkeeping by Peruzzi.
But that's the header from Boban we talked about. It was a really great save by Peruzzi, and he's had to make something similar to that in the second half from a long shot from Desailly. This is the chance I mentioned earlier, and this was the only real carved-out Juventus chance.
Dino Baggio in the middle there will be disappointed. He made no real attempt to go for that.
Yes,
Maybe,
and I think Kohler felt he was going to get there, so he stopped as well. The first time the Milan defence were in real trouble. And the last, I think.
Well, it could have made such a difference, of course, if they had managed to score there. But as it was, Milan went on to dominate. That's another good save by Peruzzi, starting from Desailly.
Yes, we see that shot from behind the goal, and really look at the swerve on this ball. He's hit the ball with the outside of his right foot. Tremendous power, and a great save by Peruzzi. Peruzzi's had a real good game today, and it's a shame that this goal beat him. But it was this cross, bent in, Juventus defenders finding it hard to deal with. Instead of watching their men, they're going to watch the ball. And Aranio stolen in at the back, and just at the sole of his boot, slight flick into the far corner.
Aranio's first goal then in Serie A this season has proved decisive. Milan the winners by 1-0. As I hand you back now then to Malcolm McDonald with James Richardson.
Well, with me here in the Stadio delle Alpi, still Malcolm McDonald. Malcolm, 1-0 the result. We could see that coming really for the last 45 minutes, couldn't we?
Yeah, very much. Milan were absolutely superb in the second half. Total contrast to Juventus. I've been very critical of Roberto Baggio in the past, but to be fair, today I felt quite sorry for him because there was just no service whatsoever coming from the middle of the park. Whereas there was all the service in the world coming for the Milan forwards, particularly from Desai. I think the guy has been so superb today. He's been strong in every tackle. He's only wasted one pass, and he's changed the game about. He's played it to the right, he's played it to the left, and every time somebody makes an overlap, he gives them the ball. It's their little prize for making the run, and it encourages them to keep making runs. In the end, Juventus stopped running because they just didn't know where to go. They weren't going to get through the Milan defence.
Well, we've seen Milan twice in the last couple of weeks against Lazio, of course, a fortnight ago, and again today with Juventus. Both times in the second half they come up with extraordinary defensive displays. Is there any way you think you can get round, or you as a coach would be able to send your team round the slot?
Pay the manager money to drop Baresi and Costa Curta, I think, because
probably been tried.
It might be, yeah. The two are so strong, and Tassotti is a very good defender, not so good going forward, but he's very effective in defence. And Fortunato, Maldini rather, on the left-hand side. He is superb defensively, and he gets the ball, and he gives them such good width and gets forward. So from defence, they turn it into attack.
Okay. Well, I know that every week at the start of the game, I'm saying this is do or die for the championship. Somebody has to beat Milan. Next week, of course, we've got Sampdoria, and I'll probably be doing it again. But do they really have a chance of stopping the Rossoneri?
Yes, yeah. I have a feeling that that if there is one man that can take on Costa Curta and Baresi, that's the ex-Milan player Ruud Gullit. I think that he would relish that challenge, and I think he's got a lot more character to him than Roberto Baggio, and he'll relish the physical battle with both.
Well, we'll be following that game with interest next week, but right now it's time to get all the full-time results with Peter Brackley.
And it's Ruud Gullit's goal that has given Sampdoria victory today at home to Torino to keep their title challenge in check. The other results: Cagliari 0, Cremonese 0, Foggia 1, Atalanta 1, Saurini for Atalanta, Capellini for Foggia, Inter 1, Udinese 0, that's a goal from Ruben Sosa early in the second half, Lecce 0, Napoli 1, Fonseca on 50 minutes. He also missed a penalty, and Carini was sent off, I think for the second time this season, the Napoli player. Carini dismissed. Piacenza 1, Genoa 1, Scuravi for Genoa. Papias on 30 minutes for the penalty from Piacenza. And it's Reggiana 0, Parma 0. That match abandoned at half-time. The referee was injured. Linesmen in Italy aren't referees, so there's no reserve official. So that game there was called off. And Sampdoria beating Torino by 1-0. So at the top of the table, Milan now have a 6-point lead, or retain a 6-point lead over Sampdoria. Juventus a further 2 points adrift. Parma on 33, Lazio on 31. Top scorers in Serie A: Roberto Baggio. They could have doubled one from him today. He's on 16. Fonseca now on 15, and then 4 players on 14. Well, that's it for today. Next up on the Italian scene will be Mezzanotte on Tuesday night, the Rome derby, Lazio against Roma. All the week's news in Gazzetta Football Italia, 11 o'clock on Saturday. And we're back with that live game on Sunday from Serie A, Milan against Sampdoria. But for now, from Ian Brady and myself, goodbye.
The Channel 4 book, Football Italia, the official companion to the 1993-94 season, with a foreword by Paul Gascoigne, is available from most bookshops, price £9.99. Without Walls hits the road to explore the 20th century.